So, how many of you would rather would rather have fresh eggs than store-bought eggs? Raise your hands. Yes. How many of you would be like to say that the cake that you baked was made with your own eggs, your own hen's eggs? Another one. And how many of you would like to say that you have a little bit of country in your neighborhood backyard? Yeah, some of you. So when my kids were old enough, we lived out in the country, and we lived in a rental house that had an old chicken house from the 1940s, and it was used for storage. And we decided we would go ahead and turn it back into a chicken house. We had like 25 chickens, and it was quite adventurous. We had some mishaps, but it was a lot of fun. Watching chickens and raising chickens is a lot of fun. Since then, I have moved into a neighborhood, and I found out you can get backyard chicken houses. Because I love chickens, and I didn't want to just end it there, and I couldn't live out in the country. So you should begin the adventure of a lifetime by raising and taking care of backyard chickens. Chickens will add to your sense of accomplishment, and it's a pleasure to watch them. The reward is healthy and fresh eggs. Watching them in your yard, they're full of personality. They're not just boring, and they are very good for your garden. Today I will give you reasons why you should consider raising chickens if you have a backyard. First, I will explain the benefits of chickens that range versus the store-bought eggs. And then I will explain some of the breeds and what kind of how many eggs the chickens would lay for your family. And I will talk about how much fun they are to watch and to learn about. And lastly, I will explain how chickens can be beneficial to your yard and to your compost pile. So, I love everything about chickens, trust me. I love chickens. They're a lot of work, but they're worth it because of the fresh eggs. Everyone should have backyard chickens so they can enjoy fresh eggs. There's some of my chicken's eggs. Some are lighter, and they're just really pretty. The eggs bought in the store are from caged chickens. They get no exercise. According to healthambition.com, copyright 2013, they never see the sunlight, and they're fed a diet of corn waste. Aside from that being very sad, it makes for lower nutritionally valued eggs. You should consider, if you have your chickens, to let them range in your yard. That's part of the fun of it because they're really beautiful. Free-range chickens should have a large area. Oh, there's the chickens in their terrible conditions. And there's some of our chickens we've had. And they're free range. Free range chickens they eat pesky bugs, grass, seeds that aren't good for your yard, worms, whatever they find, as stated in the Federalist.com, copyright 2016. You should also know the value of your free-range eggs versus the caged eggs. On the website of healthambition.com, a comparison chart of nutritional data for caged versus free found on average 2 times more omega-3 fatty acids, 3 times more vitamin E, 1/4 less saturated fat, 2/3 more vitamin A, 1/3 less cholesterol, and 7 times more beta-carotene. This website also said that the free-range eggs are 4 to 6 times more vitamin D. So now that we've learned that, let's move on to maybe the amount of eggs that you might want for your family. Some hens will lay more than others, and you can pick the breed that best suits you. Hens will lay between 3 to 4 eggs a week, as stated in the urbanoveralls.net, copyright 2014. Some breeds will lay even more, according to the same website. The California white laying hen is a prolific layer. She's excellent. She has been bred to lay eggs. She will lay 5 to 6 eggs a week, so if your goal is to feed a family, she's the breed for you. Owning 5 or 6 of these hens could give you 2 to 3 dozen eggs a week, and you could also bring some to work. and people would think you're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They also might pay you for them.
Yeah.
And if you have a child, one time I brought one of my kids, I would bring him more than one time to the courthouse, and some of the people there would buy the eggs, and he just thought that was neat to get $1 or $2 from the eggs. So now that, now if that's not enough to get you thinking about raising your own backyard chickens, maybe the next point will encourage you that it's very important. Raising backyard chickens makes learning fun. They're fun to watch, and they are therapeutic for all. My kids love picking at their own chicks, we should say. They love them to death. All my kids have fond memories of raising chickens, my older ones too. Kids learn from owning dogs, cats, and gerbils how to be responsible by feeding them and giving them food and water. But one article in mypetchicken.com, copyright 2017, states, do they actually produce something edible? Chickens are good because they produce something edible. Kids will learn to be responsible for these quirky little pets, and they are kind of a pet. They need to make sure the chickens are fed and that they're locked up at night because there's a lot of predators. They also need to clean their chicken house, and in the winter they have to make sure the chickens are warm and their food doesn't their water doesn't freeze. And kids can also show their chickens at the county fair, and that teaches them how to speak in front of a judge, and that is a very good thing to know. Chickens come in a variety of shapes, colors, and varieties, patterns, and they are a pleasure to see in your backyard. Some look like punk rock stars.
Oh my.
That is a Polish. He is awesome.
Aw.
Beautiful. And then some are soft and silky. And some of them have blue eggs. That's the Americana. She's a pleasure. I love chickens. So, let's see. Looking out at them in your backyard reminds me of a patchwork quilt. Lovely. So finally, because life can be a lot of work, watching these zany chickens will add to the spice of life. I once had a chicken and her name was Friend. And it was the winter and I went out to open the chicken house and none of them wanted to come out because it was all snow. Well, she jumped on my shoulder and I shoveled the pathway down to the house from the chicken house. She stayed on my shoulder the whole time. I was amazed. And when I got done shoveling, she jumped down and walked back up the path I had just shoveled back to the chicken house. Chickens are zany. They run after bugs. They fly up into the air to catch the bugs. They talk to each other in unusual sounds. They love to get in the dirt and throw the dirt on their body. It's cute to see the mother hens teaching their chicks how to scratch. You need to see it when you put your scraps out or anything for them, and they come running after you. And their wings are out, and they are like like bombardiers en route to their targets. I love chickens. Now they're really funny. So if that didn't convince you that chickens are a good adventure and satisfying, maybe this one will hit home. They are valuable to your garden. You can use them in your compost, the eggs and the poop. You can take you can also, let's see, they will eat anything that they can get their beaks on, like grubs, earwigs, beetles, ticks, and turn it into fertilizer, which was stated in mypetchicken.com. Okay, that's the end of my slideshow. And now the world of useful but crazy chickens is there for you to experience. It is real, it's feasible. You saw my chicken house. In conclusion, I hope you can see that raising backyard chickens is an adventure. It is satisfying. It is something that you can do. They give you a sense of pride and satisfaction when you get their eggs, and you can even give them to your friends. They are humorous and add to the quality of living. It's fun to learn about them and to watch them. Your yard will benefit from their droppings, so spring is right around the corner. So why don't you go out, get a backyard chicken house, and pick out some chicks.
Aww. Yay.